Hey y'all, it's CherokeeStarfish. Welcome back to Wasteland 2. And we're about to go into Ranger Citadel. We're finally allowed. Can you imagine? I like to headcanon that General Vargas just needed stuff done and thought that our team here was being irresponsible. Like, y'all are professionals. Get out there and take care of that stuff. No, you can't come back in until you do your job. Come on now. So this is going to be our first look during this playthrough inside the Citadel. Oh, Captain Hunter. Oh, this is Team Delta. Okay. Team Echo, isn't it? Nice to put a face to a name. I'm Captain Hunter, Team Delta. Right, like, because we haven't been here for 20 years, and y'all have never seen us before. Your team doesn't look like the other teams we've met. That'd be because we're different from the other teams you met. Special ops. Oh, like us then. Aren't all Ranger operations special? What makes yours different? Let's just say we're the Ranger team Vargas calls when other Ranger teams get out of line. Okay. Be seeing you. No, you really won't. Alright, guns are loaded. Need to rotate my camera. Yeah. That's a good way to think of it. Human resources. Ooh, though these massive vault-like elevator doors have been polished to a military-grade shine, you can see small amounts of warping and tiny scuffs, likely the remnants of scorch marks, all around the edges. If you had to guess, Rangers have tried everything from arc welding torches to C4 to open this behemoth with no success. Yeah, we tried shooting it too last time we were here, I think. Nothing out of the ordinary. This should be General Vargas's office, yes. Small dark room crammed with radio equipment with a desk and microphone in the center. As you enter, a man in a Ranger uniform is repairing a piece of equipment in a component rack along the side wall. This guy. General Vargas sits in the room, an old gray wolf in a dark cave, talking calmly into the mic. When he notices you, he takes off his headphones and turns to you. Which is why we talked to Wade first. Sergeant Wade Woodson, one of the most technically minded members of the Rangers, wearing a makeshift pair of glasses and is starting to gray at the temples.
Welcome, recruits. Nice to finally make your acquaintance. Good work saving the day and attaching the repeater units in High Pool. The General and I thank you. Now I'm guessing you're here to learn more about these mysterious broadcasts that you've been helping us with.
Yes, we are.
We don't know where they're coming from, or who's making them. Hell, they could be old pre-war recordings for all we know. But we've been hearing them since the skies started to clear. And they've got a threatening sound to them, so we've been trying to learn more about them. Which is what we sent Ace out to do when that robot murdered him.
Well, okay, but we know they're not old pre-war recordings because they specifically reference the Desert Rangers.
Now, you've already attached one of our repeater units to the radio tower at High Pool. But because you were unable to do the same at Ag Center, we're in a bit of a bind. See, we intended to make a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array using those two towers. Our tower here, and the tower where Ace died. Linking those four would have allowed us to pinpoint the origin of the signal. Now, however, we're going to have to try to find the radio tower the General already mentioned to you in Damanta. If it even exists.
Got all that? Good. Okay. Whew, that is a lot. So, what do the skies have to do with it?
Well, it's only a theory, but my guess is that the fallout that's been floating around up there in the ionosphere since the war has been muddying things up there, stopping long-range broadcasts from being reflected back to Earth. Now, maybe the fallout is starting to decay, and the ionosphere is slowly returning to normal, allowing it to reflect radio waves like it used to back in the good old days. Or not. I only know what I read in salvage books.
Still mystified by why sometimes these lines are voiced and sometimes they're not. Whatever caused it, we're definitely picking up more distant radio signals these days than we were able to even 3 months ago. Right, so, what's a Watson-Watt Adcock antenna array?
You sure you want to hear this? Most people's eyes glaze over when I start getting technical.
Yes.
Really? Okay, you asked for it. So with the traditional Watson-Watt method of radio direction finding techniques, it is possible to find the direction from which a radio signal was transmitted using 2 Adcock antenna pairs to perform an amplitude comparison on the incoming signal. An Adcock antenna pair is a pair of antennas that take the vector difference of the received signal at each antenna so that there is only one output from the pair of antennas. 2 of these pairs generate what can be referred to as north-south and east-west signals, which will then be passed to the receiver. In the receiver, the bearing angle can be computed by taking the arctangent of the radio of the north-south to east-west signal. Given any 4 antennas of a known distance from each other, this method can establish a very accurate directional vector on an incoming signal.
So there you have it. Clear as glass. Yeah, that may be it, actually, because this is the director's cut. So it's possible that additional dialogue was inserted, like written dialogue, after they had finished recording the voices for the original Wasteland 2. That's totally possible.
Satisfied?
Sure.
We use the repeater units to boost a weak radio signal out in the field and transmit the data back to the Citadel. And let me tell you, it was hell trying to find enough parts to make the ones we needed. Which is why I'm so glad you were able to find the ones Ace was carrying.
So, you know about High Pool, then?
I'm so glad you were able to save High Pool. Its reservoir and treatment plant provides water for us and the other communities in the area.
And Ag Center?
I'm very sorry you weren't able to save Ag Center. They were doing so much to develop hardier animal and plant stock that would survive out here in the wastes. It's a real blow to have lost them.
Yeah, tell us about it. What about this DeMonte place?
I've been hearing the Red Scorpions radio chatter about this place for more than a year now. They claim it's somewhere beyond the eastern radiation clouds. I hope they're right. The radio tower that Gilbert says is rumored to be there could be our only hope for tracking down those mysterious broadcasts. Well, I'm not going to say anything bad about the General when I'm sitting right next to him, am I?
You better not, Woodson. I'll take away your smokes ration.
See? But seriously, I think the General has been a wise and cautious leader these past 15 years. Some of the boys may think he keeps it a little too cautious, but they're not the ones who have to feel the calls when good men die. Since we started hearing these strange broadcasts, he decided that the quiet times are over, and his place is here, on the air, listening to the people of the wastes and sending his troops into battle.
What do you mean by quiet? Yeah, for real, we've probably been out there like punching robots for the last 15 years. So, like, what do you mean quiet?
Well, we spent the 15 years since we defeated the base code chief's AI retrenching, rebuilding the Citadel, rebuilding our numbers, solidifying our position. It made us a stronger organization, I think. But we also have a smaller footprint now. And some of the places we used to patrol have kind of fallen off the map. Now, though, I think it's time to wake up. The world is changing. These crazy broadcasts, the Red Scorpions in the old prison, reports of trade routes to the east where we thought there was nothing but radiation. If the Rangers still want to be a force for good in the world, then we gotta start stepping out beyond our own backyard.
It's okay, you don't have to raise your voice.
The Red Scorpion Militia. They took over the old prison when we moved out. Not really much more than a raider gang. But they're starting to tell everybody that they're the real law in Arizona. And they're asking people to call them for help instead of us. Maybe they're really trying to shape up, but I doubt it. Sounds more like an old-fashioned shakedown scheme to me.
I wonder why they would be so adamant about being the actual law in the wastes, as opposed to the Rangers. Why would they hate us? What motivation could they have?
Our old home base. Not bad for what it was, but we've been outgrowing it for decades. When we cleared the previous owners out of this place, we saw an opportunity to make a move.
You're welcome. Man, remember Brother Goliath? Ugh. Man, it was a slog coming through here. And east of what?
We always thought the radiation east of the prison was just too strong, and that travel that way was impossible. But now the Scorpions are claiming they've established trade with a community beyond the radiation called Damanta, and also with a group calling themselves the Servants of Titan. We're not welcome in Scorpion territory, so we can't check the truth of all of this. But they do seem to be getting better weaponry from somewhere, so maybe it's legit.
Yeah, back in the original Wasteland, Ranger Citadel was kind of in the extreme southeast corner of the game map. So there would have been no way that we would have been able to get to Damanta. Oh, the base Cochise AI? What's that? Says Dina with heavy sarcasm.
It was the Ranger's greatest enemy.
Was.
But really all it was a malfunctioning machine. The mainframe of a pre-war military facility that somehow got it into its circuit board head that everybody in the world was its enemy. It started pumping out robots to defend itself. And if we hadn't stopped it, those robots could have killed everyone in Arizona.
What we, Sergeant Woodson? Between a raider gang and the law? I mean, I would assume that, you know, the raider gangs are raiding people versus the law. That would be us. We don't do that. Sure, we don't, you know, right? There you go, that's the real difference.
All right. Good luck out there. You'll be hearing from us.
That's so jarring.
Choice recruits with no good outcomes. Still, you chose well. Keeping High Pool friendly is crucial to our plans for Arizona.
It's very jarring to hear, like, the clear-cut conversational dialogue, and then come out of that, and suddenly it's got the added reverb effect for echoing inside this big building.
Welcome back to Ranger Citadel,
Radiation cloud
recruits.
is dangerous, but you're doing a great service. Not just for us on this mission, but for all of humanity. For every new discovery helps us win back some of the world that we lost.
You done? Okay. Stiff, bearded older man wearing a hard-worn ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he's not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel.
So you saved High Pool at the expensive ag center. A tough decision, and I know it must weigh heavily on your minds. But a choice had to be made, and once you chose High Pool, you did all you could to save it and its people. I'm particularly pleased that you helped Kate Preston become the new mayor over there. She's the kind of pragmatic, level-headed leader the old place needs. Also, let me personally thank you for finding Ace's killer, whatever it was. I'm sorry your initiation into the Rangers has been such a trial by fire, but you've proven yourself tough under pressure, and in my eyes, that makes you fit to be a Ranger. Welcome aboard. Now, any questions?
I can't help but laugh every time, because of course, you know, again, in case this is your first time here, there's no import function between the original Wasteland from like 1986 or 88 and Wasteland 2. So, you know, I've done the best that I could to bring our team forward, but the game does not acknowledge that. And so I like to think that it's either kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tongue-in-cheek, or just total sarcasm. Either that or everyone here has experienced some form of amnesia except for our team. Any questions? Oh, see, like this. Any advice for us, sir, now that we're officially Rangers? Wink.
You are our next generation recruits, and I
We're the
want
last
you to make us
generation.
proud. Remember that every action you take reflects directly upon the Desert Rangers as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We worked hard to gain the trust of the people of Arizona.
We have.
To have them accept our authority. Keep that in mind every time you draw your weapon or make a promise. The lives of other Rangers and the rule of law depend on your wisdom, honor, and forbearance.
Because we haven't been doing this for 20 years. Anything else you can tell us about Ace, sir?
Ace and I went way back to the prison days. We fought Finster and the base Cochise robot army together.
You certainly did not.
We built the Citadel from scratch.
You may have done that.
That I sent him on the mission which got him killed hangs heavy on my heart, and Angie's never gonna forgive me.
As I recall, the four of you got dismissed almost immediately back to the reserves at Ranger Citadel while we did all the heavy lifting, but whatever, that's fine. That's okay. It's alright.
Another of the old gang back from the day. She's a tough cookie, Angie, but she's pretty broken up about Ace. They were close.
What's the deal with Erwin John Finster? Notice, he didn't mention the full name. We know the full name because we were there, because we killed him. In fact, Dina is the one who took a proton axe into his computerized brain in order to get in there and get, like, the codes and stuff. Exactly, right? It's like, guys, listen, this joke is getting a little dusty. Like, we know we were there.
Craziest jackalope we ever faced. Might have been human once. Might have been sane, too. But when we met him, he was a crazy android bent on wiping out the human race and replacing us all with mutants. Got his head in our museum if you want to take a look.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we definitely need to take a look. That is the head that Dina had Brains hook her up to so she could go in there and do what needed to be done.
The place was nearly the death of us. Hell, it was nearly the death of the whole human race. Damned malevolent mainframe churning out an endless army of robots. If we hadn't stopped it, well, I hate to think.
Yeah, it definitely was worthy of a final dungeon. What about this prison from Game 1?
Our old stomping grounds, since right after the apocalypse. We moved out of there about 15 years ago when we took over this place. Wasn't a bad place, but the Citadel is more defensible. The Red Scorpions have moved into the prison since then. Nasty bunch from all accounts. They call themselves the Red Scorpion Militia now, and lately they've been filling the airwaves with a lot of trash about how they're the real law and order around here. Just another raider gang, if you ask me. I don't give them the time of day.
So, you think Ace's killer was more than just a robot?
I don't know. Ace fought plenty of robots in his time, and they never gave him any trouble. So I'm wondering if this was something new, something worse. And if it is, we better find out. Listen, if you brought that thing back with you, or even just a part of it, show it to Mercaptain over in the armory, like I said. She might be able to ID it. And here, take this with you when you bring something to Mercaptain. It's a requisition form for some of Mercaptain's top-shelf gear. For finding Ace's killer, you deserve it.
Great. We love an upgrade. Who is Ethel Mercaptain, sir? Wink, wink.
One of the brightest minds in the Citadel. She's really helped us get our weapons and armor up to scratch, and she's always coming up with new and better stuff. Worth a visit just to see what she's got cooking.
She's one of the brightest minds in the Citadel, because Brains is the brightest mind. What about Wade Woodson?
Woodson's that man right over there, my radio wingman. The man who keeps me on the air. If you want to know more about the repeater units, or how to use your radio, see him.
I think we're good. Tell us about Sergeant Melson instead.
Melson's all right. A bit young, a bit rowdy, a bit gung-ho. But the Rangers need that now. We need new blood, like yourselves.
Dinah just looks into the camera like she's on The Office. Thanks for letting us into the Citadel, sir.
It is your home now, recruits. A place to rest and resupply between missions. A place to learn and to share your knowledge with others. But it's more than that. Despite its tarnished history, the Citadel is a force for good, a shining beacon of justice in a dark land, a bulwark against barbarism in a world of lawlessness and brutality. Indeed, it is the furrowed field out of which the seeds of order will grow into a new and better civilization.
I'm not sure if that's optimism or ambition. Either way.
Hey, forgive me. Get carried away sometimes, but I do believe we are making a difference despite my shortcomings, and that our flame must not be allowed to be snuffed out. That's why we need young, motivated recruits like yourselves.
We are the same age, General.
I've been too cautious, recruits. Since we took this place over 15 years ago, I focused too much on keeping the peace in areas we know, and not enough on outside threats. I wanted to rebuild, get our numbers up, but all I've really been doing is letting the world pass us by. Well, that's gotta change, and the change starts with you. You are going to find out where this threat is coming from.
Well, then where can we resupply?
You'll want to talk to our quartermaster, Sergeant Melson, about that. He'll provide you with all the weapons, armor, and gear you need to carry out your duties in the Wastelands. You may also want to talk to Ethel Mercaptain or TNT 10 if you need something special.
I think that Dina and Tan are good friends.
Our munitions expert. Crazy bastard is gonna blow us all up one day. Does good work, though. In the field, his ordnance is highly reliable. It's just his workshop that scares the bejesus out of me.
I'm sure Dina trusts him implicitly.
We have a library here, where we compile maps and information about the region to help us with our work. If you want to know about any old tech or ancient knowledge, go talk to old Flintlock there. If you've got map questions, see Gilbert. He's our cartographer.
Corporal Eggleston, that's Flintlock. Wasteland 3. Oh, yeah, Wasteland 3 is already out. Wasteland 3 came out at the end of, I think it was 2022? It may have been 21. Yeah, either 21 or 22. I don't know for sure without looking it up. But we will be playing that next, actually, on Mondays. After we finish Wasteland 2, we're going straight into Wasteland 3. So, yep. And that'll be our final charity incentive for last year's fundraiser.
Flintlock was old when I was your age. Now he's ancient. Knows more about the history of the Desert Rangers than any man alive. And he'll tell you so himself.
Okay, so it was the end of 2020. It's almost always a little further back than I think, especially with newer games. All I knew for sure is it's not 2023 because that was just a couple months ago, even though it feels like it's been a year. And Gilbert Segarra?
Gilbert was another one of my squad. We called him Thrasher back in the day. A good man to have in a tight spot. Past his fighting days now, though. Took a wound during the Battle of Base Cochise and never fully recovered. Now, he's our cartographer, and damn good at it. You'll find him in the museum with Flintlock.
Excellent.
Make us proud, recruits.
Okay, first things first. A few ringed binders stick out to you. The spine reads, Memories of My Time in the Rangers by General S. Vargas.
Welcome back to Ranger Citadel, recruits.
Yeah, which 2020 was it? No, that's fair. Sometimes it feels like this is 2020 Part 5. Here we go. Oh, Part 1. Ranger Simek has asked me to write down my memories of how I joined the Rangers and what it was like fighting our battle against the robots of Base Cochise. Can't say I see the point because I can't say I ever actually saw the base because Team Alpha, who we now call Team Echo, actually went over there and did all the fighting. But he's already got all the details written down in his official history. Why do I need to rehash a story I've already told 100 times before? Have to admit, though, there are some things history books don't tell you. The little things in between the big things. That's where real life happens, not in a damn history book. Alright, Simak, you talked me into it. Here goes. Chapter 1, Hometown Hero. This may surprise some folks, I suppose, but not all us Rangers are the descendants of the original Rangers. In fact, there's less and less hereditary Rangers every year. For instance, I grew up in a little town not too far south of the old Ranger Center. It was a mostly Hispanic community, all farmers and sheep herders, and so isolated from the rest of the Waste that I didn't hear English spoken until I was 10. I was a golden boy back home. Not for the gun skills I've since grown famous for. I didn't have those yet. But for my talents as a medic, which I learned at my mother's knee, she being about the only doctor in town. I learned a heck of a lot more about patching up bullet wounds once I joined the Rangers, but even back then I knew enough meatball surgery that I was always picked to come along on scavenging and hunting trips in case of accident or attack. For a long time, our little town was a pretty peaceful little place, but then one day a band of raiders found us and decided that what was ours should be theirs. They surrounded us and demanded we give them every last bit of our salvage and our livestock, and our children. When we refused, they came in, guns blazing. Our people were cut down like tall grass, and I was planning to go die bravely with all the rest. My mother, however, had other plans and chewed me out royally, saying that staying and dying was selfish heroism when we could save lives by rescuing others and leaving. So we gathered as many kids as we could find and escaped with them and a few other adults. Felt strange to be running like cowardice, but if we'd stayed and fought, we would have died, and those kids would have become slaves, so I did my best not to feel guilty. But the guilt hit hard once we got those kids to the next town and my mother died. Turned out she'd been hiding a gunshot wound the whole time. I think I must have gone crazy with rage after that. Problem was, I didn't know who I was mad at. My mother for hiding the wound, myself for not seeing that she was hurt, the kids we'd rescued for slowing us down, or the raiders who'd shot us in the first place. In the end, I decided the raiders would be the easiest to take revenge on, so I set out with some of the other survivors to hunt them down. It was while me and old Joe Thomas, Pops, and Susie were tracking those raiders that I acquired my old nickname, Snake. I could tell you how, but I won't. Man's gotta have some secrets, particularly when the story isn't as interesting as the name. Anyway, we didn't stay together very long after we'd found the raiders and blown them all to Kingdom Come. There just hadn't been much of anything keeping us together except our fixation on revenge, and when that went away, we each went our separate ways. Me, I drifted for a while, thinking I'd do one thing, then thinking I'd do another, but it gnawed at me that my revenge on those raiders hadn't given me satisfaction. My town was still gone, my mother was still dead, and I was still lost. And I decided in my youthful naivete that maybe what I needed to do was kill more raiders, and the best way I knew to do that was to become a desert ranger. What a history. Chapter 2, From Stranger to Ranger. I walked up to Ranger Center not knowing what to expect. It wasn't exactly an inviting-looking place, which figures, what with it being a prison and all, but the Rangers were friendly enough, and I soon learned it wasn't too hard to become one. If you could shoot, understand orders, and follow them, that was good enough. If you could patch up wounds or drive a jeep or work a radio, even better. You got your Circle Star badge and your hat right there on the spot, no questions asked. And if you later turned out to be an untrustworthy son of a bitch who was using the Star and the Desert Ranger name for his own personal gain, why, they just shot you and that was that. Pretty much the same system we have today, now that I come to think of it. Anyway, like I said, they welcomed me with open arms, partly because I was a good medic and a good shot, and partly because they were pretty short-handed at the time. That hasn't changed much either, has it? I guess it never does. Since the end of the world, the bad guys have always outnumbered the good, and there's never a lack of wrongs for us to right. Training was mostly learning how to shoot people, rather than how to deal with conflicts in a peaceful manner. We didn't even learn a code of ethics to abide by. Hopefully that's changed now. Don't get me wrong, a bullet is often still the best answer to a problem, but it should always be the last as well. I met my future squad mates pretty early in the training program, each with a sillier name than the last. Angela Death, Hellraiser, and Thrasher. Honestly, we didn't get along that well at first. I found Angela's brash manner and constant joking grating. Thrasher just seemed like an angry, ornery bull, and Hellraiser didn't seem to have any self-control at all, in combat or out. I don't know if we would have stuck together at all if not for Sergeant Dalton, who recognized early on how well our skills meshed together. My tactics and marksmanship combined with Thrasher's toughness and brute strength, Angela's uncanny ability to smash past locks as well as hold her own in any fight, and Hellraiser's berserker combat style and desert survival skills made us into an unstoppable fighting unit, And it was that recognition that we fit together so well I think eventually made us friends as well as squad mates. Who does that sound like? Interesting. Unintentional, but interesting. Are you sure you're telling your story, General Vargas? Are you sure? I thank Dalton to this day for forcing us to stay together through the rough patches at the beginning. I wish he'd lived long enough to see what we made of ourselves now. Sadly, he died on patrol, leading another band of new recruits just before I made captain. Damn shame. For a while, the four of us just lived the daily grind of the Desert Rangers, scouting and foraging missions, patrolling our territory, and checking in on the towns and farms under our protection. But then, way before we were ready, something serious came along. It started as just another patrol, making the rounds to High Pool and Ag Center, but what followed was the making of us, though there were several times along the way that it could have been the breaking of us too. But like I said, I'm not telling that story. You can read about that in Simic's history book. Instead, I'll tell you about what happened after. Yeah. Yeah, where's Mayor Pedros in all of this? He hasn't gotten that far yet. That's what it is. We'll get there later. Let's see. Here we go. A stark, functional room that smells of gun oil and gun oil and leather. Behind a counter protected by a steel banker's cage, you see rows of metal shelves going back into darkness. The shelves are piled with weapons, armor, uniforms, and other gear. There are also filing cabinets along one wall and clipboards hanging from nails beside a message board. Standing at the counter is a beefy young sergeant. He gives you a sly smile and an exaggerated salute as you enter. That is Sergeant Tobias Melson. Bro, I'll face down any man or beast in the waste, but radiation gives me the crawlies. So glad I'm not going out with you on this one. Oh, the young sergeant has the build and hearty confidence of a born jock. His neck is bigger around than his head, and biceps strain the sleeves of his tight t-shirt. Sheesh. They haven't even assigned you your bunks yet, and already the old man sent you off on a couple do-or-die missions. Well, that's the way it goes in the Desert Rangers these days, I'm sorry to say. So we better get you kitted out ASAP. You ready to equip yourselves, or do you have some questions first? We haven't been assigned our bunks because we live here. Listen, it's fine. I promise. Is there anything we can help you with, since we are in fact professionals and your superiors? Space Hulk. No, I have never played Space Hulk. I feel like someone mentioned it previously in chat, and I might have looked it up to see what it was, but I have not played it. Now, Warhammer, I've not played any 40k games like the older ones. I did play Shadow of the Horned Rat, which was Warhammer Fantasy. I have that on PS1. That's the only Warhammer video game I've ever actually played. I'm not a huge Warhammer fan, so I just never got into it. Although I did like Shadow of the Horned Rat. No, I'm good. Well, actually, there is one thing now that I think about it. Now that us Rangers are getting more active again, we're starting to use a lot more ammo, and I'm running low. To make more, I need as much brass, lead, and steel as I can get my hands on, so if you acquire any broken weapon parts, especially the junk that's left over from modding your weapons, bring them back to me and I'll buy them at a premium. I like raw materials, but seeing as how the only metal we get is from our weekly level loop deliveries, broken down parts of old weapons will work. Level loop. Yeah, I've not played Vermintide either. I've heard that it's supposed to be pretty good, but... Questions. Ask away. If you want to know about any of the gear, name it. If you got questions about the Citadel, I can help you out there too. Where can we store our stuff? See that Ranger locker behind you by the wall? If you want, your team can use it to store extra gear. Don't worry, I'll make sure nobody messes with it. Good, all of these books and things that we're carrying that we're not going to use again, we can put them there. Otherwise known as the Ranger Clubhouse. That's Ranger Citadel. This'll be your home away from home as long as you're a Ranger. And there are worse places to live, believe me. The food's good, the water's clean, and you're surrounded by your best pals. A bunch of badass desert rangers who've got your back no matter what. Who could ask for better than that? Ooh-ah. Oorah. Okay, how do you feel about the Rangers? A shining beacon of decency in a dark land. Ain't that what the old man says? Well, we try. You can't be as honorable as the general says when you're out in the wasteland, though. Not if you want to survive. Way I see it, you be as honorable as possible after you make sure the other guy's dead. Do or die missions. Oh, he mentioned that at the beginning. Well, choosing between High Pool and Ag Center wasn't exactly easy, was it? And following up on those radio signals already killed Captain Ace. Okay, that's cold, I know, but it pissed me off. How did one of our best men die on such a bullshit mission? And now Vargas is sending you to finish the job? Hey, I'm glad you found Ace's murderer, but it's not going to stop there. He's going to send you to find the same stupid signal. Well, but yes, he is. We are, in fact, that team. But you don't think the signal's a threat? More like a waste of time, if you ask me. We've got bigger troubles right here in our own backyard. Why we gotta go chasing radio ghosts? The Red Scorpions, for one. I'm afraid if we leave them to their own devices, they're gonna get too big to put down. The biggest gang around right now, that's the Red Scorpions. And they're getting more organized every day. I say we should be going after them and leaving these bullshit radio signals alone. You don't think the radio mission's important either? I don't know why Vargas is so gung-ho to find this signal. It already killed Captain Ace, and it might kill you too. For nothing, as far as I can see. It's probably just some old pre-recorded message. There's probably no one there at all. I appreciate your concern, but it's not gonna kill us. So far, nothing's been able to kill us. I don't know if you know this. Ira punched a giant, life-sized robot dinosaur to death with his bare hands. We'll be fine. Did you hear Ace was killed by a robot? I hadn't. I'd heard you found something weird and were bringing it to Mercaptain, though. Ace was one of the best. All us Rangers looked up to him. Now he's dead. Murdered. And for what? So we could chase some radio signal that might or might not be a threat to us somewhere down the line? Sometimes I don't get the general's thinking at all. Well, that's why you're not in charge. Oh, did I say that out loud? Don't tell Vargas I called him an old man. He'll hit me with his cane. You think he's too old for this job? I wouldn't say that. The general's a good man, but, well, he's not exactly a man of action anymore, is he? I mean, he kicked ass back in the days of Base Cochise and Finster, but nowadays it feels like we're all just sitting around on our asses most of the time, you know? Exactly. You can't prove a negative, right? Finster. Oh, we remember Finster. Yeah, some kind of mutant master. Finster created all these mutants and tried to take over the world with them or something. Anyway, Vargas and the other old guys kicked his ass and made the world safe for humanity again. At least that's how Flintlock tells it. First of all, watch your tone. Second of all, do not call me an old man. Base Cochise, the greatest threat the Rangers ever faced. Or so all the old Rangers say. Yes, we do. A bunch of robots in an old military base. Doesn't sound like that big a deal to me, but whatever. I just wish something big would happen now. I'm tired of hearing old war stories. I want to live through some stories of my own. You really don't. You really don't. Show us what you got. Sure, I'll have a look at what we got while I get your requisition forms ready. And make sure you choose wisely. We'll last a day out in the waste without proper equipment and water. Indeed. Alright. Now we got access to some good stuff. Look at this. Okay. Pipe. We got a crowbar, laser carbine, laser pistol, Marikov, an Uzi. Ooh, an actual sword. Oh no, it's just a combat knife. Pulse rifle. There it is. There's our friend. This is G43W. Oh man. Finally something better than sap gloves. I think we already got a set of those. There's a bullpup. Tactical vest. That's 4 armor. Steel plate armor. Also 4 armor, but requires 6 strength, and it reduces your combat speed. So not as good as the tactical vest, which is why it is more expensive. And then this is goat hide armor, and there's combat armor. So combat armor is 1 point better. It is 5 armor. But it does reduce your combat speed very slightly. Okay, so let's see here. First things first. I wish... There we go. I was about to say, I wish it would show me the comparison, but she just didn't have a sniper rifle equipped. Okay, so what do we got here? Oh boy. 1.9. Slightly reduced range, holds 6 rounds, 5 armor penetration, same AP. So this is definitely an upgrade. Bullpup is definitely an upgrade. Okay, we've got 886 scrap. So let's... Okay, it's got all... Right. I think we gotta have that. And... Here we go. So the sap gloves deal 3 to 5 damage. The brass knuckles deal 10 to 12. And they have 1 armor penetration as well. Now they do take 1 additional AP to attack, but I think that that is worth it. So we're going to snap those up as well. Okay, that leaves us with 200. Okay, a FAMAS. That's the best assault rifle that I think they've got. So that's an M16. Let's compare. Oh, no, the M16 is way better than the FAMAS. Immediately. It has slightly less critical modifier, but it holds more rounds. It has more armor penetration. It deals way more damage. Like, I think the difference in damage more than makes up for the AP cost. For sure. You can't afford to buy that just yet. Okay. Alright, let's step out here. Okay, one thing at a time. Now, unfortunately, most brawling weapons, there's just nothing you can do. You can't mod them. Okay, the bullpup. Let's remove. 100%, yes. 100%. Oh, 100%, thank you, yes. Alright, now let's... attach mod. Attach. And attach. There we go. Don't have a barrel mod yet, but we'll get there. There we go. No chance to jam. That bumped it up to a 30-meter range. So it does have slightly less range than the G43W. But other than that, I think it's better in every way. So that slightly reduced range is, I think, more than acceptable. Now let's see. That knife. Oh, we can definitely, because she's got a makeshift machete, so we can sell that knife. Okay, now this is worth 103. So let's see here. Strip for parts. Okay, right. Small scope, sturdy mag, high capacity mag, junk weapon parts. Okay, so we got 10 broken weapon parts. Good, actually. I wanted to fail there because so these are worth 42 by themselves, but he will buy them for more, theoretically. Find me any makings? You don't have to fear this. Fair enough. Let's see what you've got. Okay, here we go. Ah, see? That's what I thought. That's what I wanted to see. So I could have sold the actual gun for 103. By breaking it down into weapon parts, we can sell it for 147. Excellent. Yes, good. Good. Wonderful. It's for melee weapons. Right. That's her carbine. She's got an M4 phase blaster. Is there anything else we can get rid of? I don't think we need the sunbrella because we've got camel on some people, and also we found those tactical backpacks, which are this but better because they also increase carrying capacity. So I think we're safe to sell that. Let's see. Right, we can sell this knife. We can sell his sap gloves. Okay, good, and we did get the shoddy radiation suits. Okay, we've got 2 of these unusual bows. I don't think we need 2 of them. We are already not using one of the ones that we have. Plenty of dynamite. There's the other repeater unit. I don't think that we have enough ammo to sell extra ammo. Except for maybe these. We could maybe sell some of those, perhaps. Okay, so we're back up to 481. That is enough to buy a tactical vest, which is not bad. But I'm going to focus on weapons because, 1, they're cheaper. And 2, if we kill them first, they can't hurt us. So, you know, killing your enemies is the best damage mitigation. Okay, so an M16, we cannot afford one of those yet. Pulse rifle. Is that better than the herbicide? Probably. Need to equip that and see. That's definitely better than like the makeshift machete and the knife. But it's less important at the moment. Here we go. Thanks for bringing in the weapon parts. It's tough keeping all these nukes and bullets, but this delivery will help a lot. Keep bringing me what you find, and I'll keep paying extra. Good. You do that. Okay, so here's the herbicide. Okay, brass knucks. Okay, so now pulse rifle. That's what I thought. That should be significantly better than the herbicide. It has a shorter range, but more rounds. The herbicide has a higher conductivity multiplier, but the pulse rifle deals more damage against non-conductive armor, and also it costs less AP for more damage. So, overall, I'd say that that is probably better. Now, do we actually want to trade for that right now? Maybe not. We may need to come back. If we strip down and sell one of the other assault rifles we've got, we could probably buy the M16. I think everybody's got armor. Let me see what the difference is here, because if we buy that M16, he's only got one of them. And Dina would have to get it, because we just got a new sniper rifle for Skull. We got new brass knuckles, new punching weapons for Ira. And Brains is like the least combatant, I guess. So, but assault rifles, that's Dina's jam when she's not throwing grenades. So let's see. That's a big difference. 30 round capacity, additional armor penetration. I think we should try for it. So let's see here. We need a little over 100 scrap. What else can we sell? That shotgun for free. I want everybody to have an energy weapon at least, because you never know when you are going to come up against a robot or something, and we're going to need that because that's going to be like the weapon of choice. Now, of course, he's got the M2, and we've got a Mangler, plus he's got his Hobo Basher. She's got an M4 carbine. Right. Now, of course, he has the FAMAS as well, but he actually wound up, we ran out of assault rifle bullets at one point and had to switch to the SMG and stuff, so I want everybody to have a melee weapon, and I want them to have a secondary weapon at least. So he doesn't necessarily have to have both the handgun and the SMG. So let's see. They both have the same armor penetration. We could probably sell this revolver because it uses 38 cal. That means all of the 38 cal could go to the Sven. So I say, yeah, let's... So what is his... Assault rifles, handguns, submachine gun. Okay, so he's at the same skill rank with both of those. So handguns are technically, like, probably his worst weapon. No short range penalties. That is the difference. High chance to hit at close range, though. That's... I think that balances out. So yeah, I'm going to say, let's go ahead and sell this. And then, because we're going to find, like, more handguns later on. It's not going to be that big of a deal. So we can try and strip that for parts. Well, here's hoping not, but we'll see. Okay, so he's got an assault rifle to fall back on. And he's got an energy weapon, and he's got a blunt weapon if he needs one. Now this uses 5 mil ammo. This also uses 5 mil ammo. 9.3 damage per AP. 2.9. You know what? Since he's a heavy weapon specialist anyway, maybe he doesn't need an assault rifle because they use the same kind. Now, different heavy weapons do use different ammo. But maybe we're actually safe to get rid of his rust bucket. Maybe that's actually fine, because if he's using a gun, something's already gone wrong, generally speaking, and he should be using this big gun, not his assault rifle. Now, of course, that being said, I think, yeah, his assault rifle skill is 1 higher than his heavy weapons, but we're working on increasing that, so... Yeah, just that really strong bisexual energy, just, hey. Okay, now these definitely, she does not need both of these, but this is a unique one, so I'm going to put it in the locker. And then this is her backup weapon, is the shotgun. So she's going to hang on to that, and then she's got a melee weapon. So I think we're tapped here. This is everything that she can sell. Okay, so let's strip this for parts, and then I wanted to see if this is better than... There we go. Is this better than his FAMAS? I feel like... No, it's definitely not. Okay. The rust bucket, it was an upgrade from the one that Ira had before, but not as good as the FAMAS, and that's just the ones that we had found. So... And then she's got her energy weapon, she's got her melee, she's got her backup assault rifle. I think we're good. So let's remove this mod. And then let's strip these for parts. Okay, 50% chance to get a small scope, so we actually want to fail and get junk weapon parts. Good. Good, good, good. That 15 weapon parts is going to be worth way more than the gun was by itself. This one's only worth 43. Sturdy mag, underbarrel, flashlight. Come on, 50% junk weapon parts. Yes, good. We got 14 of them, so that's 29. So there we go, 426 scrap for those 29 broken weapon parts. So this is the way. That is how you get cash early on. Okay, so now we have 907 scrap. So I say let's blow 600 of it on this M16 for Dina. That leaves us with 304. Okay, now this has a small scope and a sturdy mag. I'm going to give both of these to move. I'm going to attach. Oop. There we go. To the M16. We are going to attach this to the M16. There we go. Okay, now we don't have another underbarrel at the moment, or barrel attachment, but that's pretty good. No chance to jam, 23 meter range. That's good. Okay, now his primary assault rifle is a FAMAS, so what we can do is 17 to 30, 1927, 91, 30, let's see, 15, 17, right. 20 meter range, 24, 25 rounds and 33 and 3 armor, 4 and 6, 5 and 6. Okay, so the FAMAS is better than the M4 carbine, which is why Dina had one. So we can strip this for parts. She gets a free assault rifle upgrade so that she's using the same gun Brains is when she needs one. And there we go. And then we strip this for parts as well. Get a little more cash, and maybe we can get out of here with a tactical vest. %45 chance. Junk weapon parts. Boo. Boo his. Boo this scope. I don't think that's... Okay, she's got one. I know she's got one, yeah. He doesn't have one, but we need cash right now, not +3 meter range. So let's see. I am going to load scum here and... Come on. There we go. Broken weapon parts. And that's another 191. Excellent. Awesome. Good, even. We might sell that too. I'm going to double check and see if there is anything else that does not have one of these. Because I know her sniper rifle and all of the assault rifles should have one. I'm not sure if his SMG does. Okay, so that leads us to... If we sell the herbicide, we could upgrade to the pulse rifle. And we know that that is better overall. So what do y'all think? I'm going to let you decide. Should we upgrade his energy weapon since he's our energy weapon specialist? Should we upgrade his herbicide to the pulse rifle? Or should we buy one of these tactical vests? So we can actually get the combat armor as well, just not everybody can wear them. So like Ira will probably get combat armor, which makes sense because he's in melee, where everybody else will get these. I mean, that's definitely true. I did make that point. So I take it y'all are in favor of upgrading to the pulse rifle. Alright then. Makes sense to me. Okay, so let's do this. And now his SMG does not have a high capacity magazine, so... That's already got one. It's like, why did that light up? Okay. Remove this scope. It's got underbarrel and scope. Okay, so now the herbicide. Now, normally that's a unique weapon, but we've already seen one of these available in a shop when it should not have been. So I don't mind stripping this one for parts rather than keeping it. Oh, no, that's a good point too, actually. Okay, let's do that, actually. You're right. I forgot about that. Large, well-lit room filled with noisy machines, men and women in black aprons working at lathes and drill presses, turning steel into guns, smells of gun oil and hot metal. We're making the equipment you're going to use to bring justice to the Wasteland, says Master Grenadier Matthew Rogers. Recruits, huh? Me too. Better see Captain Mercaptain at her drawing board. She always likes to welcome the new kids. Oh...
That should work.
A funny jest. Okay, that's her. It used to be the Guardian's mess hall. Now it's a cesspool. Okay. Welcome to the team. Indeed. Still looks like a mess hall to me. Here we go. We can refill our water. And then she is... Where's her door? Oh. It's around this way.
Or perhaps...
Need to open the door.
I hear you're going into the Eastern Radiation. You should consider upgrading your weapons.
I have been working on that. Looking close, you see that the woman isn't quite as youthful as she seems. There are a few gray hairs among the brown and a lot of lines around her eyes, but she sketches with the keen-eyed intensity of a younger woman.
A very tough decision, considering it was your first time out. I would have picked Ag Center personally, but I understand your decision. Water is essential to the growth of the wastes.
Hey, no, listen, I get it. I'm with you. Blame these folks. Let's see. General Vargas.
Vargas is a man of vision and prudence. I know a lot of the Rangers think he's too cautious, but I can't agree. Slow and steady is the way to go. He's done an amazing job rebuilding the Rangers after our war with the robots from base Cochise, and we're stronger than ever before. That doesn't mean, however, that we should now go charging off to fight everybody and their brother. We must expand gradually and fully assess all threats before taking action.
What threats do we face?
The others say that our biggest threat is the Red Scorpion militia, who have taken over the prison which used to be our headquarters. They've been getting more organized and settled, and the fear is, now that they've established themselves, they'll start expanding their borders. What I say is, this will make them easier to negotiate with. Nomadic raiders have nothing to lose.
I'm going to take that line read again.
With towns and farms to protect, thinks twice about risking their destruction by going to war. I say our biggest threat is expanding too fast. Let's make sure the communities we patrol are fully protected before we go looking for more.
What was base Cochise? Skull asks. looking into the camera.
A pre-war research facility dedicated to the science of robotics. Its mainframe was malfunctioning and kept building more and more robots and sending them out to defend itself against imaginary enemies. The Rangers destroyed the computer and the robots and saved the world, which is, of course, a good thing, but...
But, Skull says, leaning very close.
Well, I wish I had been a Ranger then. From all reports, the sophistication of the computer's AI was incredible, and its death was a great loss to science. I can't help thinking that, had I been there, I might have been able to find a way to shut it down without destroying it. What a tool for good it could have been.
Brains, who was there, says, "Nah, fam. Also, we brought you this robot leg."
Let's have a look at it. Remarkable, but unnerving. I've never seen robot tech this advanced. It'll take me some time to give it a full examination. So, if you'll excuse me,
Yes?
That's... fascinating. Oh, you're still here.
She literally just dodges completely out of the conversation.
What can I do for you?
This requisition
Oh,
form.
yes, I forgot. The General mentioned that. He was so pleased you found Ace's killer that he asked me to let you have your pick of some of my more interesting creations. Let's see. The General allocated a requisition for you, for completing a thorough investigation of Captain Ace's death site.
Okay. So now we get to pick all of this stuff. So the Sunbrella, obviously we don't need. Unusual bow trinket, we have one. Ship in a bottle, we have one. So this is the White Death. Minus 10% evasion, but plus 5% ranged chance to hit bonus. And this is the Shoe Model Ranger Combat Knife. 7 to 11 damage, 2 armor penetration, 70% to apply opened up. So it has an increased chance to inflict a status effect. Which is not bad, but that's not that much better than the knives we already have, which need to be upgraded. So I'm thinking if we have to pick one of these, probably this, actually. Because our sniper needs less evasion than she needs accuracy. Am I right? So...
Looks like you're out of requisitions, Rangers. Remember, it's just one item per rec. I'll let you know when I've got more for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for visiting, recruits. Come by anytime. And go see Sergeant Melson if you're looking to shop.
So there we go. That is what we got. Oop. Yes, hello. A gaunt man in his 30s hunches over a table, cleaning and oiling gun parts. He's smeared with oil and sweat and seems to be trembling slightly. Listen, I heard you talking to Mercaptain just now, and, well, everything she's got is solid merchandise, but as you may have noticed, Melson's gonna make you pay through the nose for the good stuff. Well, I got a little, toy collection of my own. I'd be willing to let some of them go for a lot cheaper than she will. Interested? What kind of good stuff? All the big guns, energy weapons, rockets, sniper rifles, all top quality. Made them myself. You want some? And they won't jam up every other shot. I swear they're just as good as the ones Melson has, but a fifth of the price. What do you say? What do we say? Are we interested in cheap weapons? Surely. This can only end well, right? This can only be a good thing. Cool, but listen, you can't tell the boss, Mercaptain, that I'm doing this or she'll fire me, okay? So what do you think? Should we tell? Will we not deal under the table? Or are we going to keep this to ourselves? So, this guy specifically, I'm trying to remember if this is tied to like a quest later on. I'm pretty sure he does have a quest. What is it? I think he gives you a letter to deliver or something like that. So, yeah. So what happens is, all of his weapons, they're at a much lower price, as he said, but they have a 95% chance to jam. So there we go. I think we have to say no to get his quest. I believe. I'm trying to remember. Because he is involved in the ending later on. So yeah. So what do y'all think? Shall we? Shall we or shall we not? Be quiet until... All right. Great, here's what I got. Guess what could possibly go wrong? So see right here, look. 95% chance to jam. 95%. 95, 95, 95, 95. All of them have a 95% chance to jam. They are cheaper, though. Come on, I'm trying to raise money for a family emergency. So, if you buy something, I think you don't get his quest. You don't actually have to turn him in or tell on him. You just have to not buy anything. Why does your family need money? I'm trying to help out my sister. Can't tell you any more than that, but it's important. I promise. Come on, can't you do a guy a favor? Is she in trouble? Sorry, I'm not saying anything more about it. Help me out, buy a gun or two. Brains, yeah. What you're saying doesn't make sense. Something pretty terrible must be going on for you to risk getting kicked out of the Rangers for it. You're right. Look, it's my sister. If you ain't interested in guns, I got a letter to her. I gotta get a letter to her. It's important, but I can't leave the Citadel. I can't get the time off. Would you take this to her? She lives in the Rail Nomads camp. Her name's Katie, and tell her I'm sorry. Sure. Thanks. I owe you one. Here. What's so important about this letter? Oh, never mind what's so important. It's private. Between me and her. Will you take it? I mean, sure. But here's the option. This is the other thing that we can do. So, if we take the letter, then, like, we're going to get a reward or whatever. But also, we can just persuade him to leave the Rangers. You'll have to tell me if those of you who have not played it, if you want to do this, or if you want spoilers. Yes. Yeah, I can just say, see, if it's desperate enough, you should just resign. Family comes first. And of course, I feel like in most CRPGs, if you get a special conversation option that requires a skill check, you should usually take those because there's something hidden behind them, or they wouldn't put it there. They wouldn't give you a paywall. Am I right? So actually, we can do this right now. What do y'all say? Shall we carry the letter, or should we just tell him to leave the Rangers? What should be the fate of Ranger Bowling? And his shitty guns. And his pet rat, apparently. Well, but notice, you have seen what he sells. He only sells guns that have a 95% chance to jam. That's all he sells. There you go. See, that's what I'm thinking. He's going to get people killed with these shitty guns if he stays. Alright, so... Fuck, you're right. I've been such a damn coward hiding in the Citadel. I'm eating well, drinking well. Katie's out there struggling in the Rail Nomads camp, trying not to get caught by that RSM piece of shit. He thinks he fucking owns her. Thinks he does he? Echo, I gotta go. If you're in Rails anytime soon, stop by. Farewell. And there's all our XP. Yes, so I'm not going to spoil the details. I will just say that is the best possible ending for that character. You have just quite literally saved his life. Alright, that being the case, what are we up to? Right, we need to dismantle the herbicide. Okay, small scope and we want junk weapon parts. No. No, give me the broken pieces. There we go. Excellent. Okay, that should be, there we go, 147. And there we are. That'll be enough to buy the pulse rifle and have some left over. 128. Now that money will probably save. It's not enough to purchase anything else, and I think we've gotten everything we can get out of him except for armor. We could buy this knife, but not for $500. And we could buy this because now Ira no longer has an assault rifle, but we sold his because he has a heavy weapon. Since he's got an M2, I'm not going to turn around and drop $350 on an assault rifle. So we need these two things, and then probably these two things, because that's the best armor. It's okay. I think if this combat armor reduces Ira's speed, and this one may be for either skull or brains. Probably skull, because she's got the longest range weapon. It's okay if she's a little slower, and that will protect her in the back, even though he's the doctor. And then buying the tactical vest for brains, and Dina will keep them mobile. On the other hand, she has the Tinkerer ability, which gives her +1 action point when she is wearing this kind of armor. So actually, maybe we'll probably give one of those to her, and then he can have the combat armor because we need to protect our doctor. Okay. Good stuff. Pulse rifle. Should have... Okay, we got scope and underbarrel. There we go. You can't see it. It's under his backpack, I guess. It's just... Okay, and then we have this. -10% evasion, 5% range chance to hit. Now, her chance to hit with this is 88%. This reduces her speed, but increases her carry weight. This one to outdoorsman, +2 to leadership. He's got this as well. Evasion's 18%, so is that worth 5% chance to hit? That would make her 93, but she already has 88. That was the best option from among those shitty options that we had, but realistically, I don't think... Maybe better than that. Well, that's 5% chance to hit, period, versus simply range chance. But it's -1 to awareness. So I really don't know that we're going to use that. I think that this is better. At least for now, but we'll keep it. Where is that locker? Ah, here we go. This is our stash. Okay, let's transfer this over here. You know, honestly, for only 3% critical chance, we're probably not going to use that either. I'm just going to sell it. These we might use later for accuracy. So we'll hang on to them. Synth parts. I'm trying to remember. Do synth parts do anything? I don't know. No, he can't use that. He needs all of his healing junk. Oh yeah, definitely these. All of the books. Let's see. Some of these are things that I'm just like keeping because it's funny more than anything else. And his carrying capacity is stuff like, you know, we wind up with a pet rock somehow in almost every single game that we play, it feels like. And so when we are provided with one, when one is basically thrown at us, then we must keep it. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, you know, we found this. You got to have one of these when you need it. Miniature leg lamp. That I'm not sure about. I've got to figure out what that does. Wine bottle. You never know. I almost always, in most CRPGs, carry a bottle of alcohol of some kind with me all the time, because you never know when someone's going to ask for one for a quest. And then I feel like these... I feel like Ira collects these because they're probably his posters. There's probably a reward out for him. That out. What's that? Logbook page. Contact lenses. Ace's Ranger Star. We're going to do something with that here just very shortly. The Mississippi Mule. I think that's probably good. For making synthwave music. I mean, yeah, I suppose so. Exactly. So you get it. You get it. But the synth parts, I think, like, a lot of folks keep this because you're told if you have any identifiable parts of a robot to turn it into Mercaptan. But the leg is what she's actually, like, wanting it, or wanting for the quest. And that's why it's not listed as a quest item. So I think that this is kind of a red herring. I don't believe that there is anything you can do for these. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows better. I think we can probably sell those. So this should be our final round here. It's a quick $60, and then, yeah, I'm not going to keep that. So I think that that's everything except for... Now, I know what the contact lenses are for. I remember. This, I think... Didn't this also come out of a toaster? I love... It's marked Fragile. Must be Italian. I don't remember. I'm honestly not 100% sure, so I'm going to hang on to it because I can't remember. So, yes, Fragile. Must be Italian. Okay, that should conclude our business here. And of course we carry that. Look, you know Brains has got one of these. Remember how important, how critical libraries were to game progression in Wasteland 1? The most important thing you can have is a library card. Okay, so we've been to the mess hall. Grenadier Spangler. This is... Ah, here's the stairs going up, remember? Remember, Wasteland 1 fans? Careful examining the door, Brains Oberon finds a lock, do you? Ancient air traffic control computer, but it looks like it hasn't been powered up in 150 years. Oh, your efforts are hampered by what sounds like a vindictively stubborn lock. Right? Yeah, we can't do anything with that right now. Later. Okay. That's the water source, right? Workshop. So over here, I think, is all that's left. Yes, the lock hates us specifically. There's Flintlock. Okay, this is the Ranger Museum. You know about dismissing companions, thank you. We can have up to 7 characters, by the way. I don't know if we ever will. We'll see what happens. Ancient and balding, with his ranger fatigues hanging baggy on his skinny frame, he wears his long gray hair pulled back in a tight ponytail, and his bifocals teeter on the tip of his nose. What a choice to have to make. Wish you'd saved Ag Center instead. Nothing I like better than their rutabagas. I guess they're gone for good. I think whichever one you say, they comment on like, oh, well, I would have picked the other one. I think. Now, what can old Flintlock do for you today? I'm going to randomly mention General Vargas. He's a good kid, Vargas. Helped us save the world from Finster and base Cachisa's robot army back in the bad old days, and he's been keeping us safe and strong ever since. Love him like my own son. He didn't do shit. Oh, his head's in the museum. Crazy scientist type. Finster wanted to kill everybody and replace them with mutants. Started making plagues to wipe us all out. Thank God Vargas and Angie and Thrasher and Hellraiser put him down like the mad dog he was. This didn't happen. This didn't happen. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like that. Like, what if Vargas just really told, like, the biggest lie and everyone bought it, and now we're just kind of stuck with it, wandering around and being like, what? Yeah, that's not what happened. That's not. Why would you think that's what happened? That's what General Vargas said happened. What? And base Cochise, back before the apocalypse, was a military facility just like this one, only Cochise was a robot research center. Then, somehow, about 15 years back, its mainframe had some kind of glitch and started thinking humans were the enemy. Can you believe it? The darn thing started pooping out killer robots and sending them off to kill all and sundry. Well, the Rangers had to put a stop to that, didn't they? So we did. Blew the damn place to Kingdom Come and ain't seen a robot since. Yeah, that's what it was. We kept telling people, no, actually we stopped Finster and the base Cochise AI, and they're like, yeah, sure, whatever, and they kicked us out. How'd you get the name Flintlock? Fellas all joke that I've been around so long that a standard issue for a ranger back in my day was a flintlock and a coonskin cap. And, well, they ain't far wrong. I got boots older than General Vargas's daddy. Did you call us children? Everybody's a kid to me. I'm older than dirt. And you're just back from your first patrol, ain't you? Well, I guess I can call you what I want. All 4 of them just looking at each other, look at him, look at you, the audience. Come on. Is there anything we can help you with? Dina says, rapidly losing patience. Yeah, matter of fact, I could use your help. Museum's always looking for interesting relics and artifacts from the past to add to our collection. Recovering that kind of stuff was the best thing the crazies who lived here before ever did. Trouble was, they wanted to just hide it all away. We want to show it to people, let them cogitate on it, maybe figure out what some of it does. Yeah, probably, because he has been here the whole time. He's the only one that knows Vargas is full of shit, but he still just likes to fuck with us. Listen, if you ever come upon anything interesting while you're on patrol, bring it on back, and I'll trade you for what you found. I won't give you no junk, neither. I'll set you up with something good. Oh, that's what the leg lamp is for. I'm glad we found out quickly. I forgot that was the thing. We found this amazing lamp. What do you think? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We found this amazing lamp. What do you think? Oh, wow, it's indescribably beautiful. I'll happily add that to our collection. Can I have it? Definitely. It deserves place of honor. Thank you, Rangers. You've certainly got an eye for the archaeologically interesting. Oh, we got the Red Ryder BB gun. Fuck, that's right. And 200 BB ammo. That's right. And fashionable. In fact, I think you deserve a little something extra for this find. How about I let you take the Red Rider rifle out on loan? I got a handful of BBs, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to find more. Just try and keep it clean, make sure to point it away from your face. Oh, and yeah, found Ace's Ranger Star. It deserves a spot in the museum. That's damn sad. But we're truly fortunate you found it, children. I'll add it to the collection. It'll help remind us of the sacrifices the Desert Rangers sometimes have to make to keep the Wasteland safe. Thank you, Rangers. Indeed. So we got XP for that, too. Adios, children. So yes, for that we get the Red Ranger BB gun. Or Red Rider. Red Ranger, listen to me. So yes. This is... There's the Red Rider. So it counts as a sniper rifle. It only does 1 to 3 damage, has a low hit chance, low crit chance, short range, and no armor penetration. So it deals about 1 damage, but if you hit with it, it always, 100% of the time, applies the I put out status. So there you go. And I think the reason you get that for the lamp, now that I remember, is this is a reference to A Christmas Story, like the movie. Right? You'll put your eye out. So the lamp, I think, is also from A Christmas Story. And that's why when you trade that, you get the gun. Did anybody come close to... No? Okay, well, it was worth something anyway. Ooh. Thrasher. Never cared much for Highpool, but saving them and helping Kate Preston was a wise choice. They've been in danger of joining the Red Scorpions for a while now, and you've ended that threat. Indeed. Ah, here we go. You need these as well. Well, this is a fun character. There's no getting around it. Despite the bathrobe and slippers and the high-tech artificial leg, this guy is intimidating. Fat, yes, but there's a lot of muscle under all that padding, and he's 6 if he's an inch. Also, his fists are the size of canned hams. You are my kind of people. Yeah, I know. You're the new recruits, heroes of Highpool, etc. Well, I don't do the tour. Flintlock does the tour. I just do maps. Unless you got questions about maps, talk to him. Thanks. Yes, he is ham-fisted. Goodness gracious. You and Flintlock get along. His incessant chatter can be wearing, but I'm glad he's here. He acts as a shield for the idiots who would otherwise bother me. There's a tour? Every time Vargas brings new recruits to the Citadel, they always want us to show them around the museum. Well, I don't have time for it. You never pay any attention anyway. Tell us about Vargas. General Vargas to you. Wild man back when we patrolled together. Now he's too cautious for his own good, or the Rangers. He lost a lot of men taking this place, and I understand him wanting to regroup and rebuild, but it's been 15 years. While we've been sitting here guarding our little patch, the weeds have been growing out beyond our borders, and every year we let them go, they're going to be harder to cut back when the time comes. You didn't lose man 1 taking this place. Ira punched his way through this place. Single-handedly. What weeds? Raiders, militias, mutant animals, mad scientists, cults. Keep our own backyard clean, but beyond it, the wasteland's worse than it ever was, and there are places out there that haven't been updated on my map since we got here. Look at this map. This is Ranger Citadel. Our territory stretches from rail nomads here in the north to Ag Center in the south and Highpool in the east, and that's it. Everything outside that triangle's become terra incognita. Our influence is shrinking when it should be expanded. Yeah, exactly. Dina was admiring the... Canonically, she was. We do know that. So you know about Highpool. Reservoir, water treatment plant, placed like a fortress. No surprise, considering how valuable water is. We get our water from them in exchange for patrolling up there. Good thing you saved it. What happens to Vargas stays in Vargas. What about Ag Center? Well, it was a research facility that tried to figure out ways to grow more and better crops in the Wasteland. Now it's gone, thanks to you, and we'll probably all starve. I love this. I love it. It's a good thing you saved Highpool. Well done. Good decision. Very wise. Also, fuck you for not saving Ag Center. You gotta love it. Tell me about the Rail Nomad camp. It's been been a while since we were there. You remember the Rail Nomads? Little town built up out of rail cars. Always fighting amongst themselves, but they don't generally bother anybody else. Bit of a drug problem, though. Wish they'd end the conflict. Every time one of them gets the upper hand, I have to change my maps. Ooh. Where did you get the cool artificial leg? If you ask about it again, I'll tear it off and beat you with it. Come on, what if one of us loses limb? You keeping fixed like this to yourself? Ah, you're right. I'm being selfish. I got it from a woman named Dr. Kyle. Don't know where she came from, but she did excellent work. It's not for the squeamish, though. New leg's fine, works like a charm. It's powered by a fuel cell that's implanted in the chest. Kinda freaks me out, to be honest. It's like a little blue gem set into my breastbone. First few nights I had it, the glow kept me awake. It feels, unnatural. Ah, but you are proud to be Ranger. Yeah, if the Rangers didn't exist, I would have joined some scavenger gang and been dead before I was 30. May have lost a leg in my service here, but I found my mind. I call that a bargain. Best I ever had. What is so interesting about maps? Keeping accurate maps is an important part of a ranger's job, knowing locations, distances to towns, oases, resources keeping our communities alive. We also need to put new places on the map when we find them, catalog who lives there, and if they're a threat. Now, if you excuse me, I'll be getting back to it. So, oases are important? Yes, we drink from those. There aren't many places to find drinkable water out in the desert, so we try to keep the maps current about which are pure and which have run dry. And no, I'm not giving you a map. Part of becoming a ranger is finding water for yourself. We had to do it in my day, you'll do it in yours. Fuck you, even though that doesn't make sense and is stupid. So we should keep eye out for new places. Yeah, we're always looking to expand our knowledge of the world. Write down all the places you visit on your travels, and when you come back to base, I'll reward you for any place we don't already have on our maps. The more the better. Back to work. These maps aren't going to draw themselves. A door. You have seen many like it. Ah, this is the infirmary. Right. I don't think there's anything else here. It's just him. Yes. Sergeant Dr. Eric Tideman. This man must be the Ranger's doctor, judging by the tools he's carrying around. Walks around the room tending to his patients, but frequently stops to catch his breath. See tattoos running along his neck and arms, though you can only catch a glimpse of the latter when he reaches up to cover his mouth during a coughing fit. Huh? Oh, new recruits. Alright, need supplies or just snooping? Just looking around. Well, don't. Stay out till you're sick. Nope. No looky-loos. Where's our doctor? Here we go. You're taking pills, Doc? What's it to you? Can't a sick man take pills? What's wrong with you? Anything we can do to help? Not unless you've got a cure for lung cancer on you. God damn it. Before the apocalypse, I could have had chemo, therapy, latril, healing crystals. Now all I can do is take pain pills and wait for the end. The fucking pills aren't working anymore. You take pain pills if we find them? Hell yes, any and everything. I'll trade you double for any you find. What if we found a cure? Oh, what a comedian. There is no cure. Not for 150 goddamn years. Not unless you believe those crackpots who say that Finster found one before he died. Mad scientist lived in a place called Darwin's Village. Working on modifying humans for hostile environments. Rumors that he invented a lot of diseases and cures too. Bullshit, of course. And even if it wasn't, Darwin Village doesn't exist anymore. It was north of here somewhere. Ask Sagara. But it's gone. The Rangers leveled it, radiationated it. Nothing left. We did not level it. We went there many times. They had one of the best shops in the game. Thrasher, a map guy in the little library, keeps track of where things are, where they used to be. Diddly-doo. Ha-ha. Stuffed miniature dog. This is +1 to leadership. That might actually be worth it, because Dina has a trinket that gives her +2 leadership, but it also comes with a penalty. I like how they say something if you go into the shop and then don't buy anything. Let's see, low dosage pain relievers. That's these. Yes, heals 12 points of con. This heals 106 to 142. So these are useless. Actually, there's like a real basic healing item because anyone can use those that doesn't have the medic skill, but we all have the medic skill. So actually, we should sell those. This one, yes, 3-headed snake amulet. It's +2 leadership and -3% critical chance. And she's got a 41%. Actually, I think it's probably a small enough penalty that we'll just keep what we have. Found you some pain pills. Fantastic. I'll take them. Let's trade. Here we go. 382 scrap. Hey, we got History of the Desert Rangers Part 4 and a bunch of XP. I think it's probably enough pills to hold me over till I die. Thanks. Here, I think you might enjoy this. Been meaning to return it to the library anyway. Excellent. Where was that? Yes, here. Okay, so we got Intelligence Report Part 1. This is Part 6, Part 3, Part 4. So, I told y'all before that this game does not have an import function. So, the way that I actually had to make these characters playable was I had to build them out and stat them, and then I had to play through the game until this point when I was able to gain access to Ranger Citadel, and then do this. Somehow the Rangers have managed to keep an intact M388 Davy Crockett tactical nuke in perfect shape for the last 150 years. Every part, wire, and actuator looks to be in working order. Do you think the warhead is alive too? Oh. A bright red button blinks silently on the control panel below the launching mechanism. Does this still work? Detonation initiated. Have a nice day. Oops, well that was unfortunate. The nuke you set off in Flintlock's library may have been small, but it was enough to kill everyone inside Ranger Citadel, thus ending the Desert Rangers as an institution and a force for stability in the wastes. Whoops. And this is why I had to do it. Because there's not an actual proper export function for your characters in Wasteland 2. You can't just export them at any time. However, they are automatically exported whenever you get an ending to the game. This counts as an ending. It's not a good one, but it is an ending. So basically, the best way to create these characters and then get them to where we could actually import them and play them the way that we are doing now is I had to make a beeline for Ag Center and High Pool, do that stuff, come back here and pop the nuke, because then it exported them so that I could import them. So there you go. And it's because that is the earliest ending that you can get in the game. There are certainly other endings. Some of them are along like the midpoint of the game. Some of them are way towards the end. Of course, Most of them you have to actually beat the game to get the ending. That is the earliest ending you can get, and so therefore it is the fastest way to export and import your characters. Ooh, hello. Toaster repair time. Ooh. Critical failure. Whoops. That was in fact... One moment. This is why we hard save. Because I accidentally hit quick save instead of quick load. There we go. That's better. That dealt quite a bit of damage when it blew up. Come on, they're standing further away this time. Come on, you got a 1 in 3 chance. That means 3rd time's the charm. Come on. Come on. Wow. Also, I just thought of something. Toaster repair. Right, okay, so this is Junk Diver, Toaster Expert. She's got Junk Diver, which is upon finding a junk item, 50% chance of finding another junk item, right? Toaster Expert is the one where 50% chance to find bonus loot when using Toaster Repair party-wide. Right, so that means actually, you know what? In fact, I'm going to save that for later, because once we level up her Toaster Repair, then we can get the additional loot. Check this out, the Museum of Unnatural History. Love to see it. Oh, the Premicoran mural is a work of art. Okay. Wow, that's a lot. This is all the southwestern folklore stuff, so... The Premicoran mural is a work of art which you have only heard rumors about. It records all human history in one vast display of gaudy colors. At the beginning of the display, you see the image of Charles Darwin walking arm in arm with an ape in a wedding dress. Next to that, you see a youthful Egyptian pharaoh in mummy wrappings and a gold mask dancing on the stage of a place called, according to the neon lights behind him, Radio City Museum of Unnatural History. Proceeding along, you see a masked man brandishing silver 6-shooters on the back of a silver Tyrannosaurus, hot on the trail of a mustachioed man wearing a swastika. I'm pretty sure that this was a character in a Deadlands campaign that I played. A fat man in a red uniform with white trim flies through the sky in a sleigh pulled by 8 F-19 stealth bombers. He has bags full of guns, ammo, and bombs, which he is freely dropping down to King Arthur and his knights so they can battle Genghis Khan and the Yellow Peril. Yet further on, a man in green and gold uniform with the number 12 emblazoned on it and a G on the helmet has just thrown a missile to a man vanishing in the white glow of an atomic mushroom cloud. Finally, at the far end of the wall, you see the ape in its tattered wedding dress squatting and studying the fire-blackened helmet. It's a lot piled into that. Yes, hello? Computer of some kind gently illuminating the area with dim light. Oh, yes. Find Water by PFC Vargas. Got it. Oh, I lost. Your life has ended in the Wasteland. Score 1. So there you go. It's sort of like a weird game of Snake. Get it? Snake Vargas. Let's see. Where is... This is... Oh. This gun is so big and bulky it has to be mounted on tank treads. Look like it could pack a wallop. A small placard on the ground reads, Meson Cannon. I told you they kept it. While the cannon's been dead for years, its parts seem to be in working order. Someone with knowledge of machines and how to repair them might be able to get a little power flowing. I think Skull can fix it, don't you? Critical success! Oh! A flash of energy flows over a long dormant power coupling, then dissipates. While you've done all you can to repair the cannon, the only lasting result is a continuous hum at the very bottom of your range of hearing. Yes, so your repairs seem to have reawakened some bit of tech deep within the beam generator. It'll take years of study or a miracle to get the thing back in working order. Or we'll tell someone about it. Ah, there we go. That's what they're talking about. A gnarled wooden staff with a disturbing reddish tinge and a crust of dried gore at the business end. Just looking at it fills you with a nameless dread. Yeah, remember the blood staff incident from Wasteland 1? Let's see. There's a grandfather clock. Shelf filled with old-timey books. An American Life. The Book of Nauseatingly Correct Manners and Maximum Power. And here we go. Perception. You also spot the actively useful Fix It by Guy Macver, hidden on a bottom shelf. Guy Macver. Right? Like MacGyver. So let's see. Okay, this is part 5, part 2, part 1. Intelligence Report, part 2. My Time in the Rangers, part 3. And then Fix It. I think that gives you a free rank in mechanical repair, if I remember correctly. Let's see if that is the case. I like how she rubs her hands together before she starts doing nothing. Oh, gain 1 skill level of toaster repair. Oh. That's right. I was thinking it was mechanical repair. No. It is, in fact, toaster repair. Well, then. Somebody else needs that, don't they? There we go. Nice. Okay. This statue, shows the back of a head with 3 tentacles instead of a body, each gripping a stiletto knife. The opposite side of the head shows the same. A plaque at the base says, "A Ranger, in the year of who the fuck cares, Eric Tideman." So, yeah. We should get a skill point for that. Admiring the statue fills your squad with a sense of purpose. So the doctor did that. Got all of these random bits and bobs. A plastic card with a black stripe on the side and the word SecPass 7 written on the other. It's seen a lot of wear and tear. Yeah, we used that card a lot when we went through Base Cochise, didn't we, y'all? Ooh, small square piece of plastic colored blue, orange, and white. There are raised letters and numbers embossed on it. Most of the numbers have rubbed off, but you can just make out the letters H. Crusher Esquire. That is a credit card. You may recall that from the first one as well. And here we go. Scratched into the science-fictional eyepiece is the word Proteus. It's an almost human head. There we go, so you can see it as best as possible. Only the wires sticking out of the neck let you know that this was never a living man. That and the slightly rubbery look to the skin. The clean sever at the bottom of those wires make you think that the head was removed after the robot had shut down. Yeah, it was, with a proton axe. It also makes you wonder if the electronics inside might be undamaged. Scratched into the science-fictional eyepiece is the word Proteus. So yes, that is Finster's head. Yes, we mentioned a tour. Terrific! Heh, most of the fellas run screaming when I start talking about the old days. Great to have an appreciative audience. That's a strange one. Lots of these little cards laying around, all completely worthless, but this one meant so much to a guy he paid the Rangers who brought it to him in more gear than you could shake a stick at. Never found out what he wanted it for, but when he died, we decided to retrieve it and preserve it. Bizarre how one little piece of plastic got us so much loot. That's the head of one of the Desert Ranger's greatest enemies, Irwin John Finster. He was one of them mad scientists trying to make people into mutants or some such. I can't recall the details. All I know is he was so mad he turned himself into an android. Didn't help him when the Rangers caught up to him. lost his head over it, in fact. Kind of spooky the way his eyes follow you around the room, ain't it? There are a lot of fake blood staffs lying around, but this is the real one, I promise you. We took it off the corpse of the blood priest himself. Nobody knows exactly what its purpose is or what it does. Secrets of its origins are lost in the mist of time. That, and we lost the manual. Yeah, that's a joke about, like, there were a bunch of fake ones. I hope you're making good use of the Red Rider since I gave it to you on loan. Keep it safe. Isn't she a beauty? Top of the line and the heaviest hitter of her day. Non-operational now, I'm afraid. Can't find any replacement parts, but I still polish her muzzle every day. Now that is a useful piece of plastic. It got us through the final doors in Sleeper Base 1. Well worth the hours of fighting it took to get it. I thought so. Not much to look at, is it? But you would not believe what we found inside it. Always check broken toasters, children. They're like slot machines. Sometimes you get nothing, sometimes jackpot. That's all for now. Come back if you want the tour again. Cool. Head into the radiation clouds. I want full reports on every community you can find. Indeed. These rad suits you obtained are fascinating. I've investigated the history of their production. Very interesting. They're not a quest item or anything, just remarks that we have them. Is that it? I think. Oh, there is a door right here. Rangers? Oh, sorry, Rangers. Only authorized personnel are allowed in the brig. Ah, the brig, yes. And here, this is the other shop. Here you're heading into the radiation. Watch out for shrapnel. Last thing you want is a shredded rat suit. And hang back a minute now. I'm just finishing up this priming assembly, and it's a little tricky. So this is the explosives guy. A leather-tough Asian man with a welding mask flipped it to reveal a friendly, deeply lined face. He has scars and burn marks all over his arms, neck, and head. You also notice that he only has 2 fingers and a thumb on his left hand. Ah, there. All done. Now what can I... Oh, the hero's a high pool. Come to see where the magic happens, eh? Well, this is it. I'm TNT Tan, the man who makes all your problems disappear in a puff of smoke, and you're the kids the general's sending off to solve the mystery poor old Ace got aced trying to find the answer to. So you knew him. The latest casualty in Vargas's war on ghosts. Why a good man had to die chasing a few garbled radio signals, I don't know. Ace was one of our best, a veteran who knew the waste like the back of his hand. And some robot kills him? Yeah. Good men die in the wastes all the time, but his death wouldn't feel so pointless to me if he'd been fighting a real threat. Red Scorpion Militia for one. Since we pulled in our borders and decided not to patrol anywhere east of High Pool anymore, those bad boys have been multiplying like roaches. Now they think they're the new Rangers, saying they're protecting the people of eastern Arizona like we protect the people here. Well, I don't believe it for a second, and I'll tell you something else. I don't think they're going to be content with just eastern Arizona for long. I think they want the whole enchilada. We're going to get caught with our pants down. So you know about High Pool? We can get our water from them. Good folks, if a little mistrustful, but maybe now that you saved their asses, that'll change. Oh, you think those signals aren't important? I don't believe those are live broadcasts at all. I think it's all a bunch of pre-war loops that we're finally hearing because the air's getting clearer. Nothing lives beyond the radiation. How could it? Go far enough in any direction in the waste, you're going to run into radiation hot enough to cook you. There's no way around it. We're walled in. Last survivors of the apocalypse, which is why we got to keep the peace. If everybody in Arizona killed everybody else, there'd be nobody left on Earth. We're all that's left. The last hope. So you think there's nothing to this radio mystery? Seems more of Vargas's craziness to me. He goes from sitting on his hands to chasing ghosts in one jump. Why are we all of a sudden hunting mysterious radio signals when we have honest-to-God flesh and blood threats right here in the wastes? I just don't get it. So why do they call you TNT, Dina says, as if they don't call her Dynamite for the same reason. Because I'm the guy that makes the bombs. Duh, that ain't the only reason, if you know what I'm saying. I do not. Yeah, I'm the Wizard of Boom, the Sorcerer of Shrapnel. If you need to put a little bang in your party, I'm the man to see. Now, you can get the regular off-the-shelf stuff from Melson up in the Quartermaster's office, but if you need something special, something that'll make a real impression out there, come see me. I can show you the fun stuff. Yes, tell us about General Vargas, because that other conversation option opens the shop. Vargas is a good man, hero of base Cachis and Darwin Village and all that. No, he's not. I just wish he was a man with a plan. Seems like we've been sitting here with our thumbs up our bungholes for a decade. I'm a man of action. I want to get out there and do things. Put a few grenades where they'll do the most good, know what I mean? I understand rebuilding and getting our numbers up, but we've done that. Sometimes I just want to go up and shake the old man. Tell him to stop relying on his defense. It's time to unleash the offense. Let everybody know we're here again, like, boom. Boom like base Cochise? Yeah, biggest damn fight Rangers ever had. Us against an army of killer robots with lots of explosions at the end. Yee-haw! Wish I'd been there, but I wasn't with the Rangers yet. No, I definitely would have remembered you. I actually think, like, that's not the case in the story, but, like, it would be very funny. And I've heard headcanons kind of like that before, like Mad Max specifically. It's like, no, it's just Australia, or wherever it is that Mad Max takes place. Like, that's the only place it's like that. Everywhere else is completely normal. Kind of like with the Hunger Games, right? Like, Pan Am is the only place that is like Pan Am. The rest of the world did fine. Everything's okay. Lair of that crazy android scientist Erwin John Finster. He somehow decided mutants were better than humans and started trying to kill us all off. Plagues, poisons, you name it. Vargas and his crew killed him off the old-fashioned way, with lead, iron, and shrapnel. Woohoo. Do you have a quest? Yeah, all the Rangers know that I'm always looking for bomb-making supplies, particularly ammonium nitrate. You find that shit in, well, shit. So if you come across any cow shit, or even better, bat shit, or any fertilizer, bring that shit back to me, and I'll trade you some good shit. Law, missile launcher, you name it. Oh, that's right, we found some bat shit and I threw it away. I sold it because we didn't have a use for it at the time. You got that shit? We haven't got shit. So funny. I've got the stuff that puts the fun in fun-splosion. Yes, you do. Look at this. Law rockets. 200 damage. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, I think she's better at that than Ira Knuckles because they count as explosions. Because her Bomberman perk affects that. Yeah, the Mangler too. Ooh, so I need to give her that. That makes a lot of sense. So like the M2 is a heavy weapon, but before he carried our anti-tank weapons. That was his other skill. And he wasn't super good with them. He was okay. But it makes a lot more sense in this game that they are explosives. I forgot that. There's the RPG-7. So it's Manglers first, then the Law Rocket. No, Mangler, then the Sabot. Then the Law Rocket. Then the RPG-7, which is 500 damage. Oh, we almost have enough to buy one. There's pipe bombs, 50 damage in a 3-meter radius. TNT's 25 damage in a 3-meter radius. The pipe bomb's a little bit better, twice as good. And then grenades, 100 damage in a 4-meter radius. Much better. We don't need any of that right now. We have some. I know my shit's a little pricey, but you have no idea what I have to go through to make it. Well, actually, I guess you do. Shit. Yeah, she does. Come by anytime. Okay. And the brig is over there. We can't get through this door yet, so that is it. That is everything. How much money do we have? 602. We got a bunch of reward money for the stuff that we took over there to the to the museum and donated. So let's see. We do not need the Red Ryder BB gun. We're not going to use it. Put that ammo over there as well. Did we acquire anything else that we need to put over there? I do not believe so, except for these books. So I'm not going to read all of these books. Instead, what I will do is I will put them up on the screen and scroll down a bit, and then if you want to watch the YouTube upload, or if you are already watching on YouTube in the future, hello, then you can just pause it and read as much as you would like. This one tells the story of, like, Guardian Citadel and stuff, and of course if you watched Wasteland 1, then you know all of this stuff that happened. He's not telling you anything that we didn't actually do instead of him. So there we go. Intelligence report. The sewers under Las Vegas. Gaining access by following Farron Brygo's instructions to go through the Temple of the Servants to the Mushroom Cloud. Yeah, remember that? That's where Ira punched the giant mechanical T-Rex to death. Here we go, see? Clawman, Centron, Cyclone, the Tronosaurus, Boa Tronstrictor, Tronodile, Tazel, Cybertrike, the Hexborg. Another mystery. Why these cyborgs all seem to be unique to that location. Clearly unmistakably originated in base Cochise, but most differed from the more heavy-duty cyborgs found in other places, such as the Slicer Dicer, Scorpitron, and so on. Could be an invasion force. Could be a Martian invasion force. Could be dumping grounds, a buffer force. Programming error of some kind. Who knows? And this is the history of the Desert Rangers. What comes after the end, indeed. This is by Simak, the one who was pushing Vargas to write his own stuff. Started as an Army Corps of Engineers battalion. Holding back the tide. Indeed. Hellraiser, Angel of Death, Thrasher, and Snake Vargas. 4 Rangers, now legend, were sent out on a fairly standard assignment. Although at least it does blame them in this account for, like, supposedly they killed Bobby in self-defense. Polite but dangerous crime lord Farron Brygo. This is all basically just a synopsis, like the Cliff Notes of Wasteland 1. Here we go, the Guardians of the Old Order. Those are the people who held the Citadel before. And yes, we had to go through here to get power armor and an attack helicopter to get to base Cochise. Creating an administrative robot they named Vax and dismantle the robot-making machinery. I don't remember that. Do I? No, maybe kind of. No, I kind of do remember that, I think. And then this is what's happened since then. This is filling you in on, between Wasteland 1 and 2, what happened. So there you go. Enjoy. There we are. And that is that. Now, let's go over here, and we do have enough for a piece of armor. So I'm going to say this is the more expensive stuff. Well, no, it's 475, 470. Oh, it is the same. Interesting. I guess it's because this is 5 armor, but it reduces your combat speed. That's fine. Anyway, we're going to buy one of these tactical vests. Now, let's see. I think at this point, everybody's got a leather jacket, so it's all the same. Yeah. So... we're going to go ahead and give this to Skull because she gets an action point from wearing it. So she'll get that first one. Also works because I believe she is likewise the squishiest out of everybody. Insofar as any of them are squishy. 111, 126. Yeah, she has the fewest hit points. So there we go. That is Ranger Citadel. Get some more cash saved up, find some more weapons to strip, then we'll come back here and we will do more with it. Now we know what there is available, what we can do. You have seen everything that the Citadel has to offer to us for now. So, this actually gives us a way to do things like weapon parts just do not cost as much weight and everything as...
Able 1 to Citadel Base. Go ahead, Able 1. On site, talk to caller looking for bogeys.
10-4, Able 1. Advise when complete.
Roger, Citadel Base. Able 1 out.
Anyway, so... what was I saying? Oh, weapons weigh a lot more than weapon parts. And so since we can sell weapon parts to Melson, that means that we can save a lot of inventory space now that we have access to Ranger Citadel by breaking weapons down to carry them. So, do need to double check our logbook. Okay, so, ongoing quests. Okay.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gift subs, Trance. You all continue to spoil me. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying. I hope you all enjoy enough to stick around, and if you are enjoying this, please do go back and watch my Wasteland 1 playthrough, because it was a lot of fun, and that's where these characters come from if you have not seen it. It was really good. It holds up for a game almost 40 years old. I was really impressed with how much fun I have, especially since it looks like it was made on a calculator. Like, we know better, but... yes. So, let's see. Help find a cure for cancer. Look for the rest of Ace's logbook. Monitor radio for calls about spreading infection. Okay, we got the Stubborn's farm. We took care of that one. We're on the lookout for shit of any kind of shit we can get our hands on. And Demonta. That's the next thing that we need to do. That is where we are headed next. So, I am going to go ahead and we're going to call it here-ish. Because we have done everything I wanted to do in Ranger Citadel. We got some big weapon upgrades. We got some good armor upgrades. So, we're going to take those, and we're going to head over in the direction of Demonta, and that's where we're going next time. Let's try this new sniper rifle. Oh, well, I think that's pretty good, don't you? I think that looks okay. Where are you all at? There they are. Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Ambush. Oh, we gotta try these brass knucks out, right? Oh, where? Oh, he can look at this. He can get all the way over here. Let's go over here for 10 AP. Can we hit him? Oh, yes. Yes, good. Oh, so you don't want to go over there. You don't want to go over there. Oh, boy. Okay. Well... I mean... Well, they asked for it, I guess. Oh, that's satisfying. So, yeah, don't forget to follow and subscribe if you're having a good time. Check out Wasteland 1 if you missed it the first time around. It is one of my favorite playthroughs that I have done on the channel. I think everybody who was part of the ride had a good time, I hope. And if you want to be a part of picking out what games come up next on the channel, be sure to hop over and follow on Patreon, or you can pledge. We actually have one of those polls going right now, and it's going to end, and I'm going to announce the results at the end of March. So if you're watching on YouTube later, or if you're not, if you're watching on Twitch now and just haven't voted, then by all means, head over to the YouTube channel and vote for what order we're going to play the next Thursday schedule in. Speaking of which, that's when I'll be back. I've got more Pokemon Crystal coming up on Thursday for y'all. I hope that you are having a good time with that one, because I certainly am. Challenge Run always makes it so much more fun to play a game you're familiar with.
Ranger Citadel, come in. Over.
No.
10-4 Echo 1. Got another report of crazy plant growth. This time it seems to have taken over all of Knotsburg. Inhabitants are barricading themselves into the jail, but they don't know how long they can hold out. Get over there pronto. You copy? 10-4 Echo 1. Sending you the coordinates now. Ranger Citadel out.
Oh, well, that's not very far away at all. Yeah, it's literally like right here. Yes, that is why we came. There we go. Knotsburg. Yes, we do want to enter the infective... Well, we don't want to, but we have to. It's our job. So I'll call it here. What was I saying? Yes, Pokemon...
Citadel base. Go ahead, Able 1.
Stop interrupting me.
10-4 Citadel base. False alarm. Just a couple of hobos. Resuming patrol. 10-4 Able 1. Carry on. Roger. Able 1 out.
Actually, I do enjoy the radio chatter, just not when I'm trying to chatter. Anyway, so yeah, more Pokemon Crystal on Thursday, of course. More Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura on Saturday. Things going well in both of those games, or at least going interestingly, if nothing else. And then next Monday is going to be April the 1st, so we will not have a Baroque stream with Specific Pixel. Instead, that's our next all-day seasonal special, so tune in on April 1st. I will be live all day doing some fun stuff for that. And then the following Monday, April the 8th, we will be back on schedule, and we will have some Baroque for you then, which means that our next Wasteland 2 episode is going to be April 15th. So yeah, head over to YouTube and check out that poll. Vote if you haven't already. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for being part of this. I'm grateful as always for the privilege of your time and that you chose to hang out with me and the gang here playing some Wasteland 2 when you could have been doing other stuff. Thank you again for the gift subs, the resubs, the new subs and new follows. Appreciate all of that. And until the next video, as always, thanks for playing.